There she is. Yep. There's Eleanor.
Eleanor's Memphis' unicorn.
What's a unicorn?
Fabled creature. You know, the horse with the horn, impossible to capture. It's the one card no matter how many.
What's going on, guys? MakerMods here, back at it again with another new Switch review. Today we're taking a look at the Unicorn Linear Switch. Unlike the mythical creature, these are not impossible to find and they're in stock at Hippokeys. But do they offer a mythical typing experience? Let's find out right after you smash that like button. First, who is Hippokeys? They're a newer vendor to the mechanical keyboard scene based out of Seattle, Washington. They don't have an About Us page on their website, but they're super responsive on Instagram DMs. Their site just launched about 1 year ago, and Hippokeys is named after this good boy who looks kind of like a hippo. On a side note, if it feels like I've been reviewing a lot of Switches from newer vendors, that's because, in my opinion, that's where a lot of the innovation in the Cherry MX scene is happening. With the rise of new vendors like Hippokeys and others that I've mentioned on the channel recently, they're putting out products that differentiate themselves from all the meta Switches on the market. Ultimately, that means we as the consumers win because more choice means we're able to continue that search for the perfect Switch from actuation to acoustics. They have a growing selection of some pretty hard to find Switches, so check them out at the link in the description. Full disclosure, I am affiliated with Hippokeys, and they initially sent a batch of these Switches for me to review. After trying them out, I went ahead and placed an order for 100 more because I really enjoyed them. I think that speaks for itself, so let's go to the stock sound test, where I'm typing the Switch specs and overall thoughts on the screen. Overall, the Switches are very smooth, and I personally like the return. Here's a single Switch sound test comparison with some other popular linears. To be honest, I've never been too impressed with GATERON's proprietary ink material. Although it has a reputation for being really thocky, I don't know how much of that is actually deserved when you have the loose switch in hand. I'm glad Hippokeys didn't go with the ink material because I feel like the ink sounds kind of thin and plasticky on the top housing. That being said, it was interesting comparing the unicorns to the JWICK Black. The JWICK had less resistance, although I think that's due to the spring choice more than anything else. I prefer the more substantial return sound of the unicorn, as the JWICKs and all other JWK switches, in my opinion, have a very thin sounding return because of the thickness of the top housing plastic. The unicorn really came alive as an endgame linear in my opinion after I lubed them with some Krytox 205G0 and I filmed them with Keys films. The factory lube seemed a little thinner than on the Oil Kings, so that's a definite improvement because the Oil Kings were drowning in lube. I found the factory oil mostly on the stem sliders and the bottom housing rails. Here is the modded typing test. Overall, these switches sound really good in my Polaris, and I have the perfect pink and purple keycap set to use with these switches in my GeonWorks Frog build that I'll be streaming this week. At 60 cents per switch, I prefer the unicorns over pretty much the entire stable of current GATERON switches, from the Oil Kings to the CJs, and they're cheaper than pretty much all of them. Hippokings really has a winner with their unicorn, and I'm excited to see what they come out with next. Well, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you've made it this far. If you didn't like the video, try watching it again with subtitles on. Thank you so much. My wife told me I'm not allowed to say I love you anymore, but I like you. I'm MakerMods, and I'll catch you in the next video.